2, 1. Blob Talk Radio.
إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا فمن يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وسلم. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, ya Muslimin all over the world who are tuning in tonight to our show. Alhamdulillah, welcome. Whether you are listening now or you're listening on the archives, welcome to the show, alhamdulillah. And greetings and thank you, sir. Greetings and peace to all of the non-Muslim listeners. Whether you be here for good intentions, whether you be here for evil intentions, whether you are just one who's never heard about Islam, or maybe you just one who disbelieves in Islam, you're still welcome to our show. Welcome to our show. Alhamdulillah. I'm your host, Muhammad Hard Smith. Alhamdulillah. You know, we were discussing about Surah Baqarah. We were starting Surah Baqarah last couple of weeks, and we were talking about the three different people that Allah describes in Surah Baqarah. Now, we went over the believing people. And Allah says, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Alif lam mim, dhalika al-kitabu la rayba fihi hudan lil muttaqin alladhina excuse me. I'm having some real life allergy problems today. So alhamdulillah, please bear with me, inshallah. And I think I'll just read from the book. Alif lam mim, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, bismillahir rahim. Alif lam mim, dhalika al-kitabu la rayba fihi hudan lil muttaqin الذين يؤمنون بالغيب ويقيمون الصلاة ومما رزقناهم ينفقون والذين يؤمنون بما أنزل إليكم وما أنزل من قبلك وبالآخرة هم يوقنون. And Allah says, when we discuss that this is the book, well, there is no doubt, no crookedness, and the guidance for mankind. And we discussed that a little bit about, you know, if we hold to the book of Allah, then, you know, we're holding to the best thing, because we are holding to everything that happens in life. Everything that happens in life, we can relate it back to the Quran, even that of the Sunnah. Because Allah says, Ati Allah wa Ati Rasul. He says, obey Allah and obey His message. It's all through the Quran in several different places. You know, for y'all people who say you only take the Quran and you don't take the Hadith, you sound crazy for real. But alhamdulillah, we're not going to tell nobody that you guys are crazy. We're just going to keep that to ourselves. That's going to be our little secret. Alhamdulillah, but we, you know, for the rest of everybody else, inshallah, who follow the Quran and the Sunnah, which is like the most logical thing you can ever do, alhamdulillah, that's the correct way. Because Allah says in the Quran, for those people who just follow the Quran, it's in the Quran. So obey Allah and His messenger. So Allah says, La rayba fi hudan lil muttaqin, meaning a guidance for those who fear Allah, who reverence Allah, who remember Allah. And it's something I want to point out. One of the great Sahaba, I believe it was Ibn Umar radiallahu anhu, he was asked to describe taqwa. What is taqwa? What is this word taqwa? This, if we translate it to English, it means to have fear of God, to reverence God, to remember God, and it encompasses all these different things. And so they asking, you know, interpreted taqwa for us. He said taqwa is like if you walk through a thorny bush, or if you're walking through a path with a lot of thorns and something, and a man he lifts up his his garment, his izar, his thiyab, he lifts it up like so, as so not to get it caught on anything. Imagine if we actually went through life like that. If we went through life very carefully, not to get caught up on anything that displeases Allah, subhanAllah, we'd be like excellent Muslims. So this is the muttaqeen. The muttaqeen are like excellent Muslims because they remember Allah and they are very, very, very careful about everything they do, alhamdulillah. So, and so Allah says this, who believe in the unseen, heaven and hell, angels, Allah Azza wa Jalla himself, the day of Yom Qiyamah, so on and so forth. Believe in the unseen, and they perform as salat, meaning they perform as salat at its prescribed time. They make their prayers with khushu', with solemnity, fear, reverence, and so on and so forth, with taqwa. And they spend out of what we provide for them of their zakat. and they believe in the Quran, they believe in what has been sent down to you, meaning what was sent down to Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And I don't think we got that far last time. Let me slow down, because I don't believe we actually got that far. So inshallah, we're going to start right there. So we're going to take a quick break, inshallah, and we're going to start right there, because that's where we need to start. Because I don't think we made it that far last time, inshallah, because it's very hard to get past the ayahs of Allah, because they are so in depth. You go so in depth with alhamdulillah. So inshallah, with that, we'll take our first break, and that'll be the hard truth. And inshallah, we'll be right back. Hold tight.
The Hard Truth is sponsored by Ask a Muslim. You want to know how to fix your car? Ask a mechanic. If you want to know about the law, ask a lawyer. And if you want to know about Islam, ask a Muslim. Learn the truth about Islam. Askmuslims.com or call them toll free 1-855-968-275.
Alhamdulillah. So what is al-ghaib? What is the ghaib? What is the unseen? A lot of people nowadays, they cannot believe in something that they cannot see with their own eyes, something they cannot touch. They say they need something that's tangible. This is not iman. I mean, this is belief in something that you can see, but it's not faith. Faith means to believe in something that maybe you cannot see, maybe you cannot touch, you cannot hear. Like Allah says about Jannah, he says, a place where no eye has ever seen, and you have food that you have never tasted, and sounds you will never hear, and so on and so forth. This is the ghaib. And this is part of the belief. It's amazing how the heart works. If you look at the heart, hearts in your boom boom. Y'all hear it on my intro, the boom boom, boom boom, boom boom, boom boom. The heart is a very unique muscle in the body. The Prophet ﷺ said, there's a morsel of flesh in the body. If it is good, then the whole body is good. If it is bad, the whole body is bad. That's the heart. Why is the heart so significant? And why does the heart play such a significant role? Why is it that when our little hearts are broken, why is it that our heart hurts and not our minds? Why? Why? I mean, you would think you have a headache or something because you think about it. but you actually feel it in your heart. It is amazing. When the angel Jibreel came to the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessing be upon him, he opened up his chest when he was a kid, removed a piece of flesh that he said was the shaitan from him, and took his heart out and cleaned it with Zamzam water. Open heart surgery by an angel, alhamdulillah. And we can understand that. We can never understand the connection of the heart to the ruh, to the soul, and so on and so forth. But it has a connection. So Allah, it keeps the body going. It plays a significant role. And a lot of times we don't pay attention to just something that's the heart, and you can see the heart, but the heart is connected somehow. And this is part of the faith. This is part of the ghaib. We don't understand it, but we believe in it. But we can feel the effects of it. It's not your mind that makes you cry. You know, I listen to people, and maybe for some people, you know, when they hear the Quran recited and they start boohooing because maybe the reciter is such a beautiful voice and so on and so forth, and you just, oh, mashallah, the brother, you know, mashallah, and so on and so forth. But is it the recitation that makes you cry, or should it be what is being said that makes you cry? See, for me personally, yes, Brother Muhammad Harshu Smith, yes, I cry. I'm not that hard. I do cry. Alhamdulillah, inshallah. So, but for me to cry, it doesn't have to be a beautiful recitation. It just be something out of the Quran that affects me. When Allah says, that used to tear me apart. Oh my goodness. When I first learned that and I used to recite it, and Allah said, if we sitting down this Quran on top of a mountain, surely you would have seen it humbling itself and rending asunder from the fear of Allah. Oh man, subhanAllah, I couldn't make it through Suhasha. SubhanAllah, I would just be boohooing. And I kind of get mad at myself now because I still wish I had that iman that when I did recite it like I used to, that I would start crying. One of the things that used to disturb me is I go to a masjid during Ramadan and the reciters recite Quran and no one is in there crying. I mean, I can never understand that. I never understood that. If you can go to a masjid and no one in the rank is crying, that sounds like something that's not good. I don't care how much knowledge you have. I don't care how much knowledge you're teaching. It has to affect the heart. It has to affect the heart. If it's not going past your throats, then seek refuge in Allah. Seek refuge in Allah and ask Allah to open your breast to His word so that it has some type of effect on you. A lot of times, the Quran doesn't have an effect on us because why? Because of our sins. I mean, you don't have to understand the Arabic, though it is better to understand the Arabic. Please do not misunderstand me. It is better to understand the Arabic. But sometimes a person who don't understand the Arabic just knows that it's Kalam Allah. They know it's the word of Allah. And just it being a word of Allah will make you just boo. You start boohooing, crying, beard be soaking wet, henna be running all out your beard because it's probably just fresh and have stains all on the carpet. But alhamdulillah. It's okay. Alhamdulillah. There's no problem with that. So, the believers are those who believe in the unseen. They believe in the unseen, meaning they believe in heaven and hell. I mean, I put it to you like this. If you don't have some type of belief in heaven and hell, why do you act the way you act? Why do you try to do good things and bad things? I mean, I would think if I didn't believe in heaven and hell, I'll be like a hooligan, you know, just ripping and running, doing everything I want to do. I wouldn't worry about the law. I wouldn't worry about no judges, no lawyers, no consequences or repercussions or anything like that. I'll just do what I do. But it's that belief that Allah Azza wa Jalla has created a reward and a punishment that keeps the believers on the straight path. I often wonder at these people who say, well, I don't believe in heaven and hell. then why do you try to live a life of the people who are striving for Jannah and trying to remove themselves from the hellfire? I wonder about that. You know, you might as well go out there and do what you do, live your life the way you want to live, and then go to hell at the end. And that's what's going to happen, unless Allah guides you. May Allah guide us all. I mean, but that's what's going to happen. So, and it's more amazing, like for the people who say, I don't believe in God. I've seen this so many times, and I hate to say it like that because I don't want you to think I just seen a lot of bad things in my life, but I have seen where an individual is in a situation where his life is at stake, and the first thing they holler is, oh God, God, no. I guarantee you, a lot of these people who say they don't believe in God, put them in a situation. Put them in a situation where their life is in danger. Their fitra will come out. Their natural inclination to know right from wrong will come out. And you know what they be saying? Oh God. You know, we say, Ya Allah. We say it, but you know, I'm just saying, alhamdulillah. So, these are the people who believe in the unseen, right? And they perform as salat. A brother was reminding me of one of my favorite hadiths about the 7 people who will be in the shade of Allah Azza wa Jalla on the day where the Prophet ﷺ said the day there will be no shade except the shade of Allah, when the sun will be brought close. And one of these people, their hearts are attached to the masjid. Now, for the people who don't know what the word masjid means, it means a place of sujood, meaning a place to make sujood, to prostrate. And for people who understand why it's called a masjid, because the prostration is the closest point in the prayer that you get to Allah, because you are at the most humble point. It doesn't get no lower than that. I remember one day, a reverend was on TV, and for some reason, I want to say it was Billy Graham or one of them guys, money making, slick at the mouth snakes, and he said when the Muslims pray, they bow down to God. They prostrate to God. He said, but I go one step further. I lay down. I said, you buffoon. What is laying down? What is that supposed to mean? I mean, come on, what is laying? That's not even an act. You're not even putting in work. Amilu salihati. They do the deeds of righteousness. Salat is part of the external ibadah. It's part of the worship that takes action. It's part of the worship that takes action. You have Iman and you have Islam. Iman, amana billahi wa malaikatihi wa kutubihi wa rasulihi wa yawm al-akhir wa qadri khayr wa shar. Belief with the heart in Allah, who is the unseen, the angels, who are the unseen, the books that were sent to us, and we believe in them, though we were not there when the origin was given to us, but we believe in them. The messengers who we never seen, we believe in them. Day of judgment, which is unseen, but we believe in it. And the decree of God, the good and the evil of it, we believe in it. That's all I have to do to heart. Now, you want to talk about the external things. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, wa ashhadu Muhammadan Rasulullah. We do the 5 pillars. It is the testimony, which is an action with the mouth. Words must come out of your mouth. Words. Your mouth must move. Your tongue will move. Your lips will move. Your teeth will move. It is an action. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. Iqamat as-salat. And they establish the salat in action. Salat comprised of all of your body parts praising Allah Azza wa Jalla. It is an action that we praise Allah with. Giving zakat. Going in your pocket, giving, working, earning, and then giving is an action. Now, I know y'all think you're going to get me on Siam. I know y'all thought y'all was going to get me on Siam. Well, Siam, it's not an action. It is an action. It's an action of restraint. Now you are restraining yourself. Now you are taking your other actions that are evil and you're restraining them. You're restraining your speech. You're restraining your food consumption. You're restraining your drinking. You're restraining your intercourse with your wives. And it better be your wives or your husband, nobody else. But you're restraining yourself. Sometimes restraint is harder than anything. A lot of times it is harder than anything. And then Hajj, of course, which is also an act of worship. That is a physical act. Because you're walking around the Kaaba, you're saying things, you're throwing the jamarat, you're throwing the jamarat, you're back and forth between Safa and Marwa, and so on and so forth. You're slaughtering the animals. It's an action. So in Islam, you deal with the internal and you deal with the external. And you know what I love when people tell me, oh, I love it so much. They say, you can't judge me. Allah knows what's in my heart. Well, guess what? What's in your heart is in your actions. What is in your heart will reflect in your actions. This is the bottom line. There's no getting away from that. You know, people, that's their excuse to please themselves. My uncle used to always tell me, he said, excuses only please two people. The person that makes them and the fool who will accept them. And I will not be your fool. And that is the hard truth. We'll be right back, inshallah. Please stay tuned.
The best quality 24 karat gold visit AA Jewelry Store located at 2210 Morse Road, Columbus, Ohio, 43229 Suite EN. Inshallah, you'll find the most beautiful rings, necklaces, and much, much more. Give them a call, 614-269-8874. Or email them at globalcohio@hotmail.com. That's GLOBALCOHIO@hotmail.com.
Taz New and Used Tires, located at 3910 Cleveland Avenue, Columbus, Ohio, specializes in the best quality services and new and used tires. Taz also mounts and laser values all tires. Give Taz a call and tell him Muhammad Archie Smith sent you.
Alhamdulillah. Now, the next thing after the salat, you know, we establish the salat at its right times and make the proper wudu or ghusl, whatever you have to make for the salat. And the men go to the masjid and offer the salat, and the women are usually in their homes to offer the salat because the Prophet ﷺ said it's better for them and more reward for them. Now, zakat. And Allah says that these people, they offer the salat and they give the zakat, meaning they give their charity. They pay alms. You know, the Prophet, Allah says in the Quran, give what you make, give a portion of what you make to purify what you keep. You know, and so a lot of times the people become hoarding. They hoard their money. You know, they act like if they give, that Allah will not replace it. Allah will promise that He will replace it. See, that's the thing we forget about Allah Azza wa Jalla. وَلَا تَكُونُوا كَالَّذِينَ نَفْسُوا اللَّهَ فَأَنْسَاهُمْ أَنفُسِهِمْ أُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْفَاسِقُونَ. We say it all the time. And be not like those who forget Allah, and Allah calls them to forget their own selves. They are the fasiqun. Think about it. You forget that Allah Azza wa Jalla is going to provide for you, so you hold on to your money. You hold on to that money. You hold on to the money, and therefore you become a fasiqun. You start to be rebellious and disobedient. You want more money. You want more money. So what happens if the people fall into their bad? The people fall into haram acts, trying to get money. And you have acquired all this wealth, and then you die with it, and your wealth has no benefit for you because you didn't do any good with it. You didn't do any good with it. You just hoard it, and you didn't do any good with it. It's like you might as well just took all your wealth and just flush it down the toilet. That's all you had to do. All the money, just flush it down the toilet. It had no benefit for you because you didn't give it as if it was your wealth. It was a trial. It was something that Allah sent to you as a trial. But do we think like that? Of course we don't. You know, alhamdulillah, this morning I got in a car accident. And I got a job I have to do. And I was like, subhanAllah, how am I going to get to the job now? I wrecked, this lady hit my car, and I didn't wreck it. She wrecked it, mashallah. She hit my car, wrecked it, tore it up real bad. And, you know, got a little back pain and everything that just flared back up, mashallah. Alhamdulillah, I get some sins removed. But I told a brother what happened, and the brother bought me a truck. He didn't ask for no money. He didn't ask for no down payment. He just said, okay, you can use this truck until, you know, everything gets set up. Alhamdulillah. That's Islam. That's Islam right there. That's brotherhood. But if you go to some of these brothers who have multiple vehicles, who have car lots and all these other things, and you say, Aki, I don't have any money right now. I need this. If you don't mind, can I use a vehicle better? Kallahu fik. You know, you can say all the beautiful words to them, the nice statements, alhamdulillah, Aki, mashallah, alhamdulillah, and they still won't let you use it. This is tight. Tight. But it takes a brother who maybe he doesn't have a lot of money, he doesn't have a lot of material things, but he has a lot of iman. He has a lot of trust in his Lord, and he's seeking the face of his Lord. So he said, here you go, Akhi, mashallah. I mean, and then he bought the truck to me. Him and another brother bought it to me, and they got in their vehicle and left. And that was the end of it. And he said, if you want to put your name on it, go ahead. I'm sitting there like, subhanallah. Now?
I said, the Kuffar won't give you a free car without regarding
Nah, well, but see, the thing is, there's some Muslims who won't give you either. And that's the point. They don't understand the giving of zakat. They don't understand the helping of your Muslim brother as if their wealth belongs to them. We remember what the Prophet ﷺ said, that when a person dies, 3 things follow him to the grave. His deeds, his wealth, and his family. When you're naked behind, wrapped in a cloth, is put in a grave, and the dirt is thrown over top of you, there's only one thing going in that hole with you, and that's your deeds. Unless you're on some type of bid'ah or something, you're doing something crazy, you know, and you want to throw ram heads down there and gold and silver and wasting your time and causing a person to grave harm, and you know, that's what you do. May Allah remove that from your heart. I mean, but when your family leaves, guess what? They're taking your money with you. All those cars that you had, somebody else is going to be driving them. All those beautiful wives that you had, somebody else is going to be marrying them unless they decide not to get married again. All that big house or those houses that you had, somebody else is going to be owning and living. You cannot take any of this with you. So what's the point of hoarding onto it? Why do people grab it? Now, I'm not saying don't leave anything for your family. And we also will look at the competition between Umar al-Khattab and Abu Bakr. Now, everybody knows that Abu Bakr had a lot of money. He freed the necks of a lot of Muslims, mashallah. We know this. And Umar wanted to compete with him. So Umar, he gave half his wealth. Now, I'm going to show you what some true iman is. He gave half his wealth, gave it up. And Abu Bakr gave up everything he had. Now, this doesn't mean that Abu Bakr didn't go make more money later on, but he gave up everything he had. And the Prophet ﷺ said to Abu Bakr, he said, when did you leave for your family? He said, I left Allah and His Messenger. I left Allah and His Messenger. What does that mean? That means he knew Allah was going to replace what he gave. He wasn't worried about it. As long as his family and himself was on the Qur'an and the Sunnah, he had nothing to worry about. But the problem is we don't think like that. We don't think like that in nothing. We don't think like that in giving. We don't think like that in marriage. We don't think like that in work. We don't think like that in nothing. We don't put our trust in Allah. We try to put the affairs in our own hands. And our hands are really not that big. If you think about it, we got small hands compared to Allah Azza wa Jalla, the Lord of all that exists. We try to control things ourselves, but we don't put our trust in Allah. Tawakkul. We have to learn to put our trust in Allah. When we start to put our trust in Allah, then our lives become more simple. We're not angry. We're not worried. We're not saddened. We're at peace. We truly experience Islam. We truly experience Islam there. We truly find out what it means to be Muslim because we give it up to Allah. We put our trust in Allah. But what happens when we don't put our trust in Allah? Then we start to worry, we start to get upset, we start to get angry, we start to get ourselves involved with all those things that are hazardous to our iman, hazardous to our health, and so on and so forth. Imagine if we really put our trust in Allah. Imagine that. Imagine if you didn't have work, but you wasn't worried about it. You just kept going out there trying to find work. And for the person who knows that his Lord is going to come through and help, guess what? He's going to come through and help. Imagine if your wife is not doing something that is pleasing to you, or your husband is not doing something that is pleasing to you, or there's something in your relationship that is not pleasing to you. When do you put it in the hands of Allah Azza wa Jalla? When do you give it up to Allah Azza wa Jalla and say, you know what, Allah, I can't deal with it. It's up to you. I'm going to keep being the best Muslim I can be. Whatever's going on with her, whatever's going on with him, I'm not going to worry about it. Anta Rabbil Alameen. You are the Lord of all that exists. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to put my trust upon you, Allah Azza wa Jalla. Watch your life change. Watch everything change. Watch you find yourself being at peace, being at harmony, able to have khushu' when you pray, able to walk the streets with taqwa of Allah Azza wa Jalla. See, the problem with us, we need it right now. Whatever we want it right now. We want it when we want it. That's our biggest problem. It's not you make dua for something and then you're patient. Allah Azza wa Jalla says, when the servant is faced with adversity or hardship, what do they do? They seek help and patience through Allah Azza wa Jalla. They seek help through prayer and patience. Seek help through prayer and patience. What does that mean? That, do we worry? You know, my wife and I, we're supposed to go somewhere, and if it does not happen, do we get upset? Probably go around the back, inshallah. Why Islam? The back door's open. Do we worry about it? No, because it could be the qadr of Allah. How many stories have you heard of somebody missing a plane, somebody missing a boat, somebody not getting in the car, and then something happens to that car, boat, or so on? I mean, I've heard so many stories. So many stories of this happening. So many different stories. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. So we have heard so many different stories about this. You never know what Allah can be protecting you from, or maybe He has a different risk for you. No one ever knows. But I guarantee you, if something was to happen, we get mad. We get upset. We want to raise our voice. We want to raise our hands. We want to get angry instead of giving it up to Allah. You know, Allah will allow you to go through your frustrations because you're not turning it over to Him. You're not giving it up to Allah Azza wa Jalla. And that's what we need to do as so-called believers, is truly believe and put our trust in Allah Azza wa Jalla. So I tried to call you. I cannot remember the ayah you told me. But inshallah, we'll get it next time, inshallah. It wasn't the qadr of Allah tonight, so alhamdulillah. So, and we didn't get past this. We stopped right here, so I wanted to finish that up since we're here, inshallah. So, they give zakat, and they believe in what was sent down. Meaning they believe in the Qur'an. وَالَّذِينَ يُؤْمِنُونَ بِاللَّهِ وَالَّذِينَ يُؤْمِنُونَ بِمَا أُنزِلَ إِلَيْكَ وَمَا أُنزِلَ مِنْ قَبْلِكَ. So meaning they believe in what was sent down, meaning this Qur'an, the Qur'an, and what was sent down before you. Hear me now. This is very close. For those who claim to be Muslims, and you say you do not believe in the prophet of God, excuse me, if you don't believe in any prophets or messengers of God, you cannot be Muslim. If you do not believe in any books, you cannot be Muslim. Because a Muslim does not deny anything from Allah. Not one iota of anything from Allah Azza wa Jalla. Not one thing. He does not, or she does not deny anything from Allah. Now, we follow what? The Quran and the way of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Why? Because he and it was the last revelation and the last messenger to mankind. So therefore, we follow that. That's it. We don't have to have any other reason. You can say, yeah, the Bible was tampered with and this and that. We don't need no other reason other than that. Allah sent this as the last revelation to mankind. But we still believe in what was sent before. It's part of the unseen. It's part of the ghaib. So we want to really try to eternalize this. We want to really try to have these characteristics. We believe in the Quran. We follow the Quran. We believe that Allah Azza wa Jalla sent the Injil, the gospel. We believe Allah Azza wa Jalla sent the Torah, the law. We believe Allah Azza wa Jalla sent the Psalms of David, the Psalms of David. We believe that Allah Azza wa Jalla gave Ibrahim the pages of Ibrahim alayhi salam. We believe that there was these people who exist. See, what Allah Azza wa Jalla is doing, He's giving you the characteristics of what a believer is. And that's what we want to do. We want to focus on, how do I obtain these characteristics of a believer? How do I do that? Because a lot of times we're playing. And we're not playing with nobody but ourselves. We're not playing with Allah. Allah says, they plan and Allah plan. Allah is what? Allah is the best of planners. So, I mean, really, we have to learn to internalize. We have to really learn to put our trust in Allah. If your husband or wife is doing something that is against the Quran and Sunnah, admonish them in the best way And if they want to keep acting crazy, other than something that's like shirk or major sins or something, then you say, listen, I leave you to Allah. I put my trust in Allah and I make dua. And I tell the brothers, and I'll tell y'all this over and over and over. The Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessing be upon him, said, there is no veil, there is no screen, there is no barrier between Allah and the dua of an oppressed woman. There is no veil, screen, or barrier. Sisters be getting mad and wanting to fight their husbands. Why? When you can just make dua. If your husband is an oppressor, make dua. I mean, it's simple. Why go through all the crying and clawing and drop kicking and DDTing and what they call and hit you?
Power drive.
Yeah, power drive and off the ropes, off the bed with the elbow, off the bed with the elbow. SubhanAllah. Why go through all that when we put our trust in Allah? So now we're learning how to be a believer, because Allah says, "Ulaika ala hudan min rabbihim wa ulaika humul muflihun." He said, and they are on true guidance from their Lord, and they are the successful. There it is. Allah has given you the criterion for being successful. The criteria for being successful. It's right there. Boom, 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 boom. Simple as that. If you want to be successful, that's the thing. Who wants to be successful? Raise your hand. I want to be successful. Inshallah. I want to be successful, inshallah. Inshallah, go around to the back, okay, inshallah. Oh. Go ahead.
Hi. I'm not crazy, man. I promise. Oh, are you really?
Alhamdulillah. Okay, alhamdulillah. So alhamdulillah, the brothers can handle that. I'm retired. I got my stripes a long time ago. Alhamdulillah. Just playing, people. Okay. So these are the people who are successful. This is success in a nutshell. But we have to learn to put our trust upon Allah. That is the key. Once we put our trust upon Allah and we do what Allah says and obey Allah, I'm not saying we're going to be perfect. I'm the first to raise my hand and tell you I am not a perfect Muslim. I have so many flaws. I have so many errors that I make. But I'll tell you one thing that I've begun to do and have liked to do now is really make tawbah. I'm not talking about the astaghfirullah and Allah, please forgive. I'm talking about actually making wudu and hitting that prayer rug. And I have found so much satisfaction in that. Alhamdulillah. It gives you so much peace. I promise you it does. Alhamdulillah. If we would make tawbah more, like I said, not just saying astaghfirullah and Allah forgive me and Allahumma maghfirli warhamni, and I'm talking about actually make 2 rakat. And you don't have to do it when no one's watching you. You committed to sin while you was by yourself. So go pray by yourself, I have found so much peace in making tawbah. So much peace in making tawbah. Tawbah is almost like my friend. I mean, whether I did something or haven't done anything, I just like to do it now. It's just something I just like to do, making tawbah. It's so peaceful, And also, it's between you and Allah. Even if you're doing it, no one knows why you're making 2 rak'ah.
Tahajjud.
Yeah, tahajjud, alhamdulillah. Somebody else?
Tawbah and tahajjud.
I
don't think so.
Alhamdulillah, tahajjud, yeah, I have to work on my tahajjud. I gotta work on my tahajjud, inshallah, a little more, inshallah.
Just reading Surah Al-Muzammam. عن it talks about standing in the night. And when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had commanded Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam to stand half of the night or 1/3 of it, 2/3 of it. And it's potent, most potent for governing one's soul. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say, know that, you can't stand the whole night. This is what he told Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I know you can't stand the whole night. Just recite as much of it as easy as that's easy for you, as much of it as you can. And believe it or not,
you're not loud enough, they can't hear you.
Believe it or not, alhamdulillah, it's one of the times in my life that, as far as Quranic memorization, it was easy for me. I could literally, for myself, I would offer to tahajjud, and I could see the Arabiya. I could see it as I was reciting. I could see it. That's how I was able
just reading it.
Yeah, I was able to remember it. You know what I mean? Because you constantly looking at it, and then you reciting it, and then they kind of coordinate what you're looking at, what you're saying, it's rhyming, and so it makes it or at least it can make it easy, and then there's different forms of I can't really say forms of tawbah, but there's expiations.
Oh yes, there's so many different ways.
So
doing a good deed. The Prophet ﷺ said, if you do an evil deed, do what? Follow it up with a good deed. Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually that's like the Quranic ayaah.
Too, yeah, alhamdulillah.
You know what I mean?
And a man came to the Prophet ﷺ and he said, "Oh, Messenger of Allah, kiss the woman." Yeah. The Prophet said, "Go pray, go salat."
Right. Right.
So I mean, it's different levels. Now if you get off into some major stuff, you're not supposed to tell on yourself. You should make some serious tawbah.
Yeah.
But then there is the people who have, a man came to the Prophet ﷺ and he said, "Oh, I committed zina."
Yeah.
And so the Prophet ﷺ turned from him. Right. And he went to right and said, "I committed zina." The Prophet ﷺ turned from him again. And he came the third time. The Prophet said, "Hello, Majnun, is he crazy? Is he Majnun?" And they said, "La, Messenger of Allah." They said, "No, Messenger of Allah, he has sound mind." He said, "They're giving him the hudud. Give him the hudud."
Was it the third time, okay?
It was the third time. Well, I understand. Was it more than 3?
Well, I'm only asking because you got to do it 4.
Was it 4 times?
But it might have been different ones.
Okay, it might have been 4.
I read one where the Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam asked him several questions, like to make sure, and then went as far as to ask him, "What do you seek to gain from this? From telling me this?"
And what did he say?
He said, "I need forgiveness." And he said, "Okay, hudud," and announced the hudud, right? But now, before he did that, though, he asked him, "Do you know what it is? Like, do you know what it is?" Then he said, "Did it?" He said, "Was it like how the ink goes into the ink well?" He asked. He asked like 3 different levels of questioning, inquiry. He went through a serious inquiry before he did that, and then asked him, "What do you seek to gain from this?"
I can see that idea. That's heavy right there.
It's in the time series. Ooh.
What's up? Oh, check that one out, inshallah. That's heavy.
I wanna say it's in the ninth volume. I wanna say it's in the ninth volume.
Just to Bedaka and just Amma.
Yes. And I have to find it for you specifically. You're gonna make me run out to my car because it's out there. But it's heavy. It's real heavy. And then there's another one, and this is a little different, but
about the woman.
But it was a mistake made. That's what. Yeah, it was deep. She gave birth to a baby, right? And when she gave birth to the baby, the husband was like, you know what I'm saying? How you giving a birth to a baby in 6 months, right? So you had to have been pregnant beforehand, basically, like, you know what I mean? So they took her to Umar radiallahu anhu, and he pronounced the hudud. And then Ali radiallahu anhu said, hold on. You know, he was like, how could, you know, he's like in 6 months. And Ali said, radiallahu anhu, it's in the Quran. Allah talked about it. He's like, well, you know, where? He's like, the weaning of 30 months. He was like, if you add it up, he was like, it could be 9 months. And then you, from 9 months, you weaning for
2 years.
Yeah, like 21 months. He said 21 months. He said you weaning for 21 months. If you had the child at 9 months, you're gonna wean the child for 21 months. But if you had that child, it said in 2 years weaning, but it's like 30 months total. He said, so then it's possible for you to be able to have a baby at 6 months, right?
Which we know is possible.
So here's what happened. Because the baby already born now. You understand? They Umar tells Mari, send word like don't stone her. They had already stoned her. Right? They had already stoned her. And this is what she said. She said, I swear by Allah that besides my husband, nobody has ever touched me. Right? So then the child grew up looking just like the father. Yeah, the husband. I mean, they say he looked just like him. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala cursed the husband and disfigured his face. Disfigured his face because he had basically lied on his wife.
Man, listen, that tafsir, subhanAllah, that tafsir, boy.
So
if you don't get into anything about that Quran, you gotta get to that tafsir. That tafsir is heavy.
It's heavy.
SubhanAllah.
You know,
now there was also the one about the woman who committed in there.
Oh, you talking
got pregnant.
And he said, go ahead and have
the baby. And then she came back. He was like weaning for 2 years. He came back.
And then
did he
wean her for 2?
She weaned her for 2 years.
Okay.
And
he pronounced the hudud.
And once they did the hudud on her,
didn't nobody want to pray over her body. And then
they started saying bad things about her.
Oh, subhanAllah.
And then the Prophet ﷺ was like, you know, hold on. You know, she
been forgiven.
Yeah, she
so much so that it could cover 70 of y'all. If it's the same hadith.
Yes, I believe that's it.
Yeah. That it could that her forgiveness could cover 70 of their 70 companions, all their sins, like that they've ever committed throughout their entire life.
You have to understand something.
That's heavy.
When the person submits to that type of hudud, I mean, you giving it up. You giving up your life. You're giving up everything for forgiveness and seeking Allah's pleasure.
And exactly, seeking Allah's pleasure and saying, you know, not only you saying I'm remorseful and repentant, but I submit to you and what your commandment.
SubhanAllah.
You understand? And so
that's just like jihad, though. People wonder why jihad is so great. So why you get so much reward? You giving up your life, your wealth, your property. You giving up everything for Allah.
Yeah.
And what's the greatest thing you give up other than your life?
Who will loan to Allah goodly loan, whom He will repay.
SubhanAllah.
Yeah, SubhanAllah.
And the Prophet ﷺ said that before the body hits the ground, the soul is taken out and put into the belly of green birds. Or is that Quran? That Quran?
No, I thought it was before the blood spills on the ground. Okay. I could be wrong, but that's right. I thought it was blood spills on the ground. Yeah.
For the blood spills on the ground.
Yeah.
The body is
the
taken
soul
out.
is put in these green birds that can fly throughout the entire Jannah.
And you know what's amazing is how we have clinged to this world. You know, if you tell your wife I'm about to go get it in, she's like, no, what about the kids? What about this? What about that? She don't have no trust in the law. She's so worried about,
the struggle.
Yeah, I mean,
the struggle.
That's what it is. But you know,
it's a struggle.
I mean, if we have a situation, right? Of course, we want to use hikmah with everything we do, but you have to put your trust in the law. I don't care from minor to greater. You got to put your trust in the law. But you'll find a lot of the people who cling to this earth. Allah just says, what is the matter with you that you march not forth? Do you cling to this earth? Do you prefer the life of this world to the hereafter? Verily, the hereafter is far more better than this world. Some of the people who cling, I mean, it's like,
with you?
What is the matter with you?
That's in Surah 9.
Yes. Surah Tawbah. Yeah. What is the matter with you that you march not forth and go? Come on, man.
Is it 38?
I'm sorry, a lot of us are suckers. I want to keep it real.
Yeah, 38.
For real.
Oh, you can believe. What is the matter with you that when you are asked to march forth in the cause of Allah, you cling heavily to the earth? Are you pleased with the life of this world rather than the hereafter? But little is the enjoyment of life of this world as compared to the hereafter. That following verse, if you march not forth, he will punish you with a painful torment and will replace you by another people, and you cannot harm him at all, and Allah is able to do all things.
Now listen to what Allah say. He says, oh, you who believe, what is the matter with you that you, when you are asked to march forth in the cause of Allah, you cling heavily? You clean.
Yeah, you
ain't just hold on.
That's nails.
You done been on this earth. You got dirt all in your mouth. Roots and branches and stuff. You got your feet wrapped around the tree. Your toenails. You clinging. You clinging like it's a bottomless pit. But that's the state we have come to. That is the weakness we have come to.
Yeah.
We have become weak.
SubhanAllah.
Alhamdulillah, we got to take a quick break, inshallah, and we'll be right back, so stay tuned, and that's the hard truth.
And children to be by his side.
Looking for a quality used car? Look no further than Spectrum Motor One, located at 3238 Westerville Road, Columbus, Ohio 43231. Not only does Spectrum offer good quality cars, but also a nationwide warranty, 40-point inspection, buy here, pay here, 0 interest, as well as halal Islamic financing. Call Spectrum 814-477-4388 or email them at spectrummotor1@gmail.com. And if you tell them Muhammad Hard Truth Smith sent you, expect a 30% discount, and that's the hard truth.
Furniture, Ohio, located at 1395 Morris Road, Columbus, Ohio, 43229. Furniture Land, Ohio offers the most beautiful furniture for a beautiful price. Good and durable. They stand behind their product. Quality, service, and great deals are what they stand for. Call them at 614-447-8505 or email them at furniturelandohio2@ymail.com. And if you tell them Muhammad hard truths looks at you, you will get 10% off your purchase, inshallah. And that's the hard truth.
Alhamdulillah. So, now, what you got there? You want to read something, inshallah?
I was just sharing this with y'all, not necessarily, for the listeners, but just something I was reading.
So we'll save it, inshallah, till later.
Inshallah.
Because you know how we do. We get off in that Quran, boy. We be all over the place.
It was just when you was talking about about clinging to the earth, and Allah Subhanahu wa Taala was saying, "Leave me alone to deal with whom I created lonely," and then granted him resources in abundance and children to be by his side, and made life smooth and comfortable for him. After all that, he desires that I should give more. Nay, verily, he has been opposing our signs. I shall oblige him to climb a slippery mountain in the hellfire called As-Sa'ud. It faces severe torment. I shall oblige him to face a severe torment. Verily, he thought and plotted.
It's right here. Sa'udhikuhul Sa'ud. Sa'ud.
Can I give an ayah? Is that okay?
Naam, inshallah.
Okay, Surah An-Nahl, and scroll over, it's ayah 24, and 20, ayah 24, 26, 24, 25, and 26. So, we'll just go out there.
It says, "Oh, you who believe, answer Allah and His Messenger when He calls you to that which will give you life, and know that Allah comes in between a person and his heart. And verily to Him you shall be gathered. And fear the fitna, which affects not in particular those of you who do wrong, but it may afflict all the good and the bad people. And know that Allah is severe in punishment. And remember when you were few and were reckoned weak in the land, and were afraid that men might kidnap you. But He provided a safe place for you, strengthened you with His help, and provided you with good things, so that you might be grateful."
Alhamdulillah.
Yeah, alhamdulillah.
So alhamdulillah, we discuss the believers. Alhamdulillah. Let's go back to the Bible, inshallah.
Go in.
We about to
go in.
About to set it off. Alhamdulillah. So Allah says, and inshallah we will get to this next week, because we discussed the believers, and there's so many different ayats about the believers. And next week, inshallah, if Allah gives us the breath and Allah gives us the ability to be here, and we are here, inshallah, God willing, we will be discussing the disbelievers. We will be discussing those who reject the ayats of Allah, those who disbelieve, those who turn away, and so on and so forth, inshallah. So, alhamdulillah, there's no, we have callers, but no one wants to, if anybody wants to ask a question before we go, or make a comment, inshallah, before we go, because it's getting to that time that we're going to be going off air in a minute, inshallah, but we'll take the last break, and if we come back and anybody wants to ask a question or make a comment, inshallah, please do so stay tuned, and that is the hard truth.
Hold on, 1 second.
Yes, International Market says that's what I need to now. I have a from Ohio. All you have to use is a clothing and go to me.
Alhamdulillah. What would you say now, sis?
My father had instilled in my family, us as his children, being like, he
I'm sorry. Hold on 1 second. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Go ahead, sister. I apologize for that.
And giving the Muslim their rights when he sneezes. You know how the rights that we have upon each other.
Yes, alhamdulillah.
And I'm just having this problem, and I see that a lot of people have not attained that piety or that righteousness or the level of iman or mu'min, because we don't love for our brother truly what we love for ourselves. And I noticed that it's a lot of selfishness. You know what I mean? It's not good. You know, it's not good.
No,
We do, but we criticize, judgmental. You know what I mean? But it's like, say you see that brother in the street, no food, I'm gonna eat that. You know, he probably gonna, no sharing, no, like for children. You know, the Ummah is in a mess.
Well, the problem is we don't embrace the whole of the deen sincerely. You know, and I hate to say it like that, but a lot of the people, you know, we profess something on our tongues that we don't show in our actions. And that goes for a lot of us as Muslims. You know, we talk the talk, but not walk the walk. And then we wonder why, you know, we are in the situations we're in. I mean, if you look at the people who claim Ahl Sunnah, you know, a lot of people who claim Ahl Sunnah are not Ahl Sunnah. They don't follow the Sunnah of the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. You know, even though they claim it, if a man says, I don't drink, I don't touch alcohol, but you go around the corner catching him drinking alcohol. You know, this is the state. And, you know, I always caution the people, you know, don't chastise in the way that you're pointing the finger. See, if you ever notice anything, I always say we. I always say let's us. Because I know I myself have my own issues. But to just jump on somebody and say, astaghfirullah, you shouldn't be doing this, you shouldn't be doing that, and you know, attack. But we're not looking at the four fingers that's pointing back at us when we're pointing at one finger. and a lot of times, you know, somebody put on Facebook, and I love this saying, something to the effect that, do you think your sin? Do you think? No, he said, do you think you're better than me because you sin differently than I do? You know, and I love that saying because a lot of times the people claim, or the people put on this facade as if they are sinless, as if they don't make any mistakes, as if their life is just perfect and they can tell everybody else about their life and get on everybody else about what they're doing, but they do not
get on themselves.
Look at themselves in the mirror.
Or get on themselves.
And get on themselves. Until we are able to acknowledge and recognize and accept the evil that we do, we're always going to have that problem, that stigma of thinking we're better than somebody. Because we'll make an excuse why our sin is okay. Or why Allah will forgive us for our sin, but you know, your sin, he's gonna get you, Jack, you know. But we should be more fearful of our own sins. But a lot of times we're not. We should be more diligent in showing the example instead of talking about the example. If you go in the masjid, say you go in the masjid, it's a group of brothers, right? It shouldn't be, you know, all the time. I'm not saying this is the wrong thing to do, but
The same group.
You don't go in there and say, everybody makes sunnahs. Just make your sunnahs. Let them see you. And inshallah, that would be something to help them make their sunnahs. Because then, just because you make your sunnah at Fajr, these individuals might make the sunnah at Dhuhr, and you might not make it, and you might not make your sunnahs at Dhuhr. You see what I'm saying? So it's like sometimes we try to rationalize something for ourselves and demonize other people.
Where you getting that from?
Experience that I see people do all the time. So what we want to do, we want to try and practice the deen to the best of our ability. And the Prophet ﷺ said, admonish in the best manner. You know, admonish someone where if it's a group, then only that person know that they're being admonished, or pull them to the side. And when you pull them to the side, it ain't, Aki, let's stop. Nah, Aki, subhanAllah, listen, brother, I'm not the best Muslim. I got issues too, but inshallah, something I seen that you did, maybe, you know, we can work on it. You know, I got to work on things, you know, and humble yourself. The biggest problem is Muslims are arrogant. Okay. Muslims are so arrogant.
Let me ask you this. Because I'm wondering about that. If he, and I don't know what kind of example you use. Maybe we go back to the to the MSA. You know what I'm saying? Use that as an example, right? The MSA, right? Because he used a couple of examples on there. You know what I mean? And you know the fitness that they face. If he's bold enough to do it out in the open, shouldn't you be bold enough to call him on it?
You got to use hikmah.
I'm asking you.
You got to use hikmah. It depends on the situation.
I mean,
now you have two situations. Some people are just ignorant. They don't know.
Okay. So
are you going to just beat him in the head because he don't know? No, instead of pull him to the side and say,
beat him in the head.
I'm saying verbally, you know. Nah, but you know, but if someone is arrogant, like, you know, I've seen situations where a guy jump up and trying to be tough and say, well, we do this and we do that, and I jump up and say, well, you're not, you're wrong. Now, you don't like it? You're wrong. This is what a lot of messengers say. I mean, you see what I'm saying? That's how, I mean, because if you want to come out like you're haughty and bad, I'm gonna pull your card and I'm gonna see how bad you are. You know, inshallah, and keeping it Islamic standards, of course, you know. But my point is, like, I understand what you're saying. You got some people arrogant. Some people are very arrogant, and this makes my kufi twist, I swear. And the thing is, if you're like, a brother told me one time, he said, he invited me to a position at the masjid, right? And he was so-called the Amir or Wakil of the masjid. And they were trying to pass out dhikr beads or something, or hang up dhikr beads around the masjid, something crazy, right? And so I took him down. And he said, yeah, they try to put for people to, so I took him down. And I told him, I said, and I want people to understand something about dhikr beads, and I'll explain that to you in a minute so you get an understanding about that. But I took him down. And he gonna get up in front of everybody, and he said, well, I want him up. And ain't you or nobody around here, he told us to me. I was like, wow. He said, not you or nobody here gonna change anything here. I said, well, guess what? I'm gonna implement the sunnah up in here, and I bet none of y'all won't stop me from doing it. I told him straight like that. And I took him. And guess what?
They let you.
He ain't say that. I don't do that tough man stuff, man. I can't stand it. You know, don't do that tough man. Now, dhikr beads have always been what people say to be a bid'ah. Now, you have to understand something. People wrap dhikr beads around their hands and make du'as with them, and all this is bid'ah. Now, it is permissible to use something to count if you cannot count. Whether it be stones, pebbles, whatever you use to count, that's permissible. Some of the Sahaba carried bags of rocks. Now, one time I used to do a dhikr that was a lone dhikr between me and Allah, and I couldn't keep the count. So I just used some knots or types of knots to help me keep count. It didn't make the piece of thread special. It didn't make it holy or nothing like that. It was just something I used to help keep count. So you have to understand the origin of things. People use rocks and whatever else they use to keep count because they didn't have the ability to count, especially if you're doing like La ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika lahu mulku wa alhamdu ala kulli shay'in qadir la hawla wa la quwwata illa billah, and you say you're doing a long thing and that's just one, you'll lose count. But if you think that you're going to sit there and take your dhikr beads and wash them and wipe them over your face and put them on your back and twist them around your neck and do the hula hoop with them, and you just on some bid'ah, you should stay away from it. Allah protect us, I mean. But as far as keeping count, if you need to keep count, then, inshallah, use the proper methods of keeping count. But the best thing to use is your hand if you can. Why? Because Rasulullah said that it will have a light or it will have a glow on it on the day of Yom Kippur for making dhikr of Allah. Now, I'm going to tell you, on that day, if you think your dhikr bead is going to be glowing, guess what? There's not going to be no dhikr beads with you on that day. It's just going to be you with nothing else. So it's best to leave off the bid'ah and only stick to the sunnah of Rasulullah. If anybody has any questions, you can press the number 1 now on your keypad, and inshallah we'll take a question or comment. If not, subhanaka allahumma wa bihamdika wa ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. I am out of here, and if I say something wrong, misleading, misguiding, something that is offensive, then I ask you to forgive me and ask Allah Azza wa Jal alone without asking anyone else but Allah Azza wa Jal to forgive me. And if I say something that is the hard truth, that it has some effect on you, then I cannot apologize for that because I'm just telling the truth. And if I say something that is enlightening, something that is inspiring, something that makes you want to be a better Muslim or maybe makes you want to become Muslim, then verily all the praise is due to Allah Azza wa Jal. He is in control of all things. And we are out of here. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And that is the hard truth.